Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cooking Together with Dimiante Gajar, who's cooking along with me and Alex, and hopefully many people out there. She's coming in from her kitchen in Cape Town, South Africa. And today we're going to be making savory pancakes. And I'm really looking forward to this because I think when people think of pancakes, at least here in the United States, we all think of sweet pancakes with maple syrup and butter, and these are savory pancakes. So, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ways we can utilize these for lots of meals, and Dimiante will share that with us. So, Dimiante, welcome back. And why don't you take us through the list of ingredients so we can just do a double check and make sure that we have all of the ingredients that we need.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hi, thanks for the introduction, Shannon. And I will go through the ingredients because there seems to be like a lot of ingredients. So yeah, first of all, we are doing savory pancakes today. And as Shannon mentioned, we associate pancakes with sweet taste. These savory pancakes could be used for breakfast as well. So, and I think it's a great way to introduce people to vegetables they would normally have in their diet. So we're using chickpea flour. And then we're doing maize meal. I was a little concerned about the maize meal because I wasn't sure the texture that you have in the United States.
I specifically have ordered, this is ugali flour, which is white cornmeal coarse, I think is what we have here. I'd be curious to see if it matches what you have there, but this is what you would use to make ugali in Kenya or sadza in Zimbabwe. Is that about the right consistency?
Sorry, what is ugali?
Ugali is the same as sadza. So, you know, if you were in Zimbabwe, in Zimbabwe, the kind of what feels like it's like a stiff mashed potatoes, but actually made from corn maize. It's a staple in Zimbabwe, so I think it's very similar to what you have there. Is yours white corn or yellow corn?
Mine is yellow. So it would be like a polenta.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You could do polenta.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So in these savory pancakes today, I'm using a fairly well-ground maize, but if it's coarse, you could use it so long as you allow the batter just to sit for about 5 minutes so that it absorbs enough moisture in it. So it doesn't taste gritty when you actually make the pancake.
Right.
So we've got our maize meal, and then we've got flour, brown bread flour.
And what makes the flour? What makes the bread flour as opposed to regular flour, all-purpose flour?
Okay, so here in South Africa, we get, I think what's equivalent to your all-purpose is our cake flour, which is your white flour. And then we get this brown flour in which the bran is still present. That's what makes it the brown. So we still have bran in that flour. If you did sift it, then you would see the husk in your sieve. So it's quite nice to include that as roughage in your diet. And then, sorry, Shannon.
I have a bread flour, but it's just a white bread flour.
Yes, we also get white bread flour here. This recipe is quite forgiving if you don't have the exact flour that we're mentioning. And incidentally, for people who are gluten intolerant, instead of the wheat flour, you could use rice flour. So I have done that and it works very well. So those are the 3 flours we're using. And then there's some oil, 2 tablespoons of oil, just regular cooking oil. There's 2 tablespoons of yogurt. And then salt for flavoring. And turmeric. And then we've got our garlic, our ginger, and our chilies.
And this is garlic paste and ginger paste, is that right?
Yes, yes.
And what we had here, what I was able to find was pureed garlic. Does that sound?
That should be fine. Okay.
Now,
I just took
It's going to take us a little bit longer to get through this because I am starting with just my garlic and my ginger. So I thought you could show us how to make the paste. What's the best way to cut it up? What's the best consistency?
I am actually next week going to make what is called green masala, so that one doesn't have to do this process every time you need garlic, ginger, and chili. So, but yeah, what I just did, Shannon, was I just took a fine side of the grater and I grated the garlic and the ginger. But
Okay.
it's no issue. We'll just go along and do it as, yeah, we can do the grating as we go along.
Okay.
And then we're binding the batter with water. And the water is an approximation. I've said 2 cups, but I think it'll all depend on the type of flour, the consistency. So I recommend that we use about 1.5 cups initially, and then rather add the rest of the liquid as we need, so that we can see the consistency, the pouring consistency, because it needs to be like your pancake batter. So what I am going to do is just put the 3 different flours in a vessel that we're going to mix the batter in. So I'm doing the chickpea flour.
And how much chickpea flour?
It was a cup of chickpea flour.
I noticed you didn't put the weights. You just did a cup.
I did a cup. It's a metric measure cup,
Okay.
250 mils.
Okay.
So 1 cup of the chickpea?
1 cup chickpea.
Mm-hmm. And then you added, is the bread flour and how much bread?
And no, next I'm adding the maize meal, which is 3/4 cup.
All done.
And after the maize meal, it will be the brown bread or white bread flour, the wheat flour we're going to use. And that is a 1/2 cup.
1/2 cup.
So I've got my chickpea flour, my maize meal, and my wheat flour. Mm-hmm. Have you got them, the 3 in?
Yes.
Shannon and Alex?
Yep,
cool.
Got it.
And next I'm adding the oil, which is 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 metric.
And what kind of oil?
I'm using vegetable oil.
Okay.
And Alex, I'm using sunflower oil.
Yes, perfect, perfect.
I think I have canola and I have olive and I have...
The oil will give it a soft texture. That's the function of the oil.
I have to admit, I found some truffle oil that I'm very tempted, but I'm not going to.
Don't do the truffle oil on this.
No, you're wasting your truffle oil on this.
Save that for some yummy French fries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was the amount?
2 tablespoons of oil.
Okay.
I think you need a neutral oil because we're adding all the other flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And after the oil,
might be too much.
Yeah. After the oil, we're adding 2 tablespoons of yogurt, just natural yogurt.
And what does the yogurt do?
It also softens the texture. Yes.
Thickens it a little bit, I imagine.
I don't think it thickens it. It rather adds to the texture.
Okay.
So Alex, one thing I forgot to mention was don't forget to ask questions while we're cooking. And Alex, you may want to check and see if there are any questions.
Tony wants to know how Damiante got such good eye contact. Evidently, there's a rumor that you've got new tools.
You'll have to speak to the technical division in Cape Town. Hasmuk's using a teleprompter.
All right, so I've added.
So after the oil and the yogurt, I'm going to flavor with a little bit of salt, about half a teaspoon.
Is that coarse salt or fine salt or
Fine
what
salt.
kind of salt?
I prefer using fine salt.
Mm-hmm.
And then a quarter teaspoon of turmeric.
I feel like whatever kind of salt you cook with, you should stick with it, because I find when I switch salts, I don't know how salty my dish is going to be if I'm not used to a certain kind of salt.
Yeah, I tend to rather add less to start with, because once you taste the batter, you can always add on instead of putting a full teaspoon in and then you have a salty batter. So Shannon, would you like to clean your garlic and ginger?
Oh, sure. Yep, I'll do that. Sorry that I'm the slow person here without
that's
that
not
ready.
Not an issue. So while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about the veggies that I'm adding today. I just took a walk around in my garden and picked what I had. So I've got something called New Zealand spinach. Can you hold in so I can show it? Should I put the spinach?
What's different from your New Zealand spinach from what we're used to?
It's a lot like your English spinach in the sense that it's quite soft. It's quite soft. It's got pointed leaves, and it's got a very nice soft texture. It's just what I had in the garden. I've also got Swiss chard in the garden, and then I have what they call bright lights, which is the ones with yellow stem and red stem. So you could use any of the greens that you have, and it's about a half a cup that you need. And then I've also got the cilantro or coriander, fresh coriander. I'm just going through the vegetables. I haven't yet chopped them. And
Okay.
then I do have spring onion in the garden. So I just chop the top of the spring onions instead of the whole spring onion. In the recipe, I do say 2 whole spring onions. So if you bought spring onions, you would have the white and the green of the spring onion. And then I've got this glass here with 2 spring onion stalks sitting in here, because my daughter discovered that if you soak them in water like this, as you cut them, they continue growing. So you don't have to discard it. So it's something like the lemongrass stalk that you put in water, Alex.
I have an update for that. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to see the updates.
The first stalk that I put in separately is now, I think, almost ready to put into some. So can you see it there? Hold on, let me.
Wow.
So it's got some legs now, literally, and then the second one just has one little hint of one coming out. So it's just getting started. So but this one looks like it might. Do you think that that's long enough?
That's ready. That's ready to go in.
Okay, so we'll move that over.
Yeah.
Now, did you get? Are you doing 2 of them, Alex, or it's just the one?
I did one, and then once I had it, I was like, well, I'll just keep doing it. There's no reason to not. I just keep on growing them.
I think, Alex, if you can get about 5 or 6, because when you plant them, they like being in a clump like that.
Got it.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
And then they will keep adding more tubers next to them. So it's quite rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely.
My little legs are just about to poke out. I watch it every day. I pull it out. And
maybe it's scared of you now watching it. It better do something, hey?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have been changing the water every day, so I'm not getting kind of the little bit of slime that I was getting. And like Alex said, the slime's fine, but why not change the water? Why not give it some fresh water?
Yeah. I must warn you that when you do the spring onion in a glass like this, the water really smells bad. So you have to change it every day.
Okay.
It's got a very strong onion flavor, the water, not flavor, smell.
Right.
So just make sure if you do this experiment to change the water daily. How are you doing, Shannon?
Oh, my garlic's becoming a paste.
Cool.
So
very good.
Yeah, this is actually, it's so relaxing just to talk and make my garlic paste, but I am looking forward to making a big batch of garlic paste and having it in the refrigerator.
I think wait till next Saturday when I show you how to do the paste.
Yeah. No, I'm going to wait, but I'm excited for that.
Keith Bucci said, what kind of oil is used? We talked about that a little bit.
We use either sunflower or vegetable oil. So long as it's a neutral flavor, it doesn't need to have a strong flavor. I don't think olive oil would work very well because it has a distinct flavor. So Shannon, if you're ready with your garlic.
I'm done enough. Yep, it's pretty tasty.
I'm adding my garlic to this batter
how much garlic?
A teaspoon.
And have you added the water yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so a teaspoon.
And once you've added the garlic, we're adding a teaspoon of ginger.
And my ginger is ready.
Okay, I just grated my ginger on the fine side of the grater. And then we're adding half a green chili that I've chopped very finely.
And again, what kind of chili did you use? I'm using
I think I've concluded that the chilies that you get and we get, which are similar, are Serrano.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had a jalapeno left from I did a bunch of salsa making, and so I'm using a chili from that, which I'm sure is fine.
It should be fine. It should be fine, yes. So once we've added the garlic, the ginger, the chili, we've already got the salt and the oil and the yogurt and the turmeric. We can go ahead and add the water. I'm going to use a whisk just because it makes life a little easier.
And I'm going to go back to the chili. Don't forget to taste your chili before you add it, because this was the same batch of peppers that I purchased, and they were really mild, and this one is very hot.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think that you need to be quite careful with.
I like the spice though, so I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to add the whole half. I just added a quarter, and it was quite large.
Yeah, and then Shannon, we're going to taste this batter. So you could always add more if you wanted it more spicy.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little light and then add more if I need more.
Okay. So I'm just mixing this batter with some water. I've added about a cup of water. And my batter is thick, which is fine, because I'd rather have it thick and thin it down as I go along.
And I noticed you said room temperature water. Why room temperature water? Why not cold or warm?
Warm, I think, would create lumps in your batter.
Okay. So
that's why I would be hesitant. I don't know what cold would do. Hot would definitely give you clumps.
Okay.
So room temperature is great. If you've added about a cup and a bit of water, then we're going to start chopping the veggies and rather add, Shannon, yours looks a bit thick. So
it's really thick. So
add all that water you've got there.
Okay. I'm also using my cornmeal was a medium grain cornmeal.
Right.
So it could be that it was a little thicker.
No problem. Shannon, if you can see my whisk.
Yep.
Then you can see mine is.
Oh, got it. Yep. Okay.
Running.
Then I'm going to add all that water.
Yes.
Or at least Almost
So for
all.
anybody watching, you can see, how's your batter looking, Alex?
Oh, it's good. For the first time in my entire life, I cut my thumb. And so it took me a
Oh,
second.
no.
It took me a second to fix it. Now it's fixed.
Okay.
Now I'm putting stuff in. So I was having trouble with I don't know what I was doing. I was having trouble with the pepper, and it just rolled. I don't know what I was doing there, and I pinched it in a weird way and caught myself.
Dimiante, can you show me the consistency again of your batter?
Nirani, can you hone in on this batter?
And you said it was 2 cups of water?
I've got 2 cups of water measured, but I haven't added all the 2 cups because I'm going to add the rest only once I've got my vegetables inside.
Funny, I feel like my batter is still thicker than yours. It's a really thin batter.
Yeah, that's fine, Shannon. What we'll do is let it stand.
Okay.
And add the veggies, chop the veggies, let it stand a little. Because, maize meal always absorbs moisture. So inevitably, you're going to add more liquid as you go.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut the spring onions first. And although I have this herb scissor, I'm always lazy to use it. It's supposed to make life easier, I believe. I think you've got one, Alex.
I do not have a herb. No, I just have a knife.
Oh.
So
I have kitchen scissors, but I've never seen that before.
Which the herb? The herb?
Yeah, the herb
one.
scissors. The herb scissors. Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it actually works quite well.
I'm sorry, we're cutting the onions?
The spring onions, yes.
Yes. And we cut all the way to the root?
Yes. As I mentioned, I won't have the white part because I have just cut off the tops from my garden. But the white part can also go in.
And let's see, we're doing about a half a cup of these.
Yes, half a cup. All the veggies are half a cup.
And then what do you think are some other good vegetables we could add to this?
So I was going to say that we don't strictly have to stick to the 3 veggies that I have put in today. Shannon, you know that kasuri methi you showed me the other day?
Yeah.
That if you put in a tablespoon of that, it'll taste very good in here. You could do grated carrots. You could do zucchini, grated zucchini.
Yeah, I was thinking carrots, but I was thinking, but you're right, grated carrots. I was thinking carrots.
You'll have to
chopped carrots won't work.
No, you need to grate it finely, and the same with your zucchini or baby marrow. But I think any greens would do very well in here. Now I'm going to chop this New Zealand spinach.
So you said a half a cup of onion, a half a cup of coriander, half a cup of spinach?
Yes, all half a cup.
And once we have it ready, can we just put them in, or are we waiting?
We can put it in. No, we put it into the batter.
Okay.
We put it into the batter. So. I think if you're working with chili, just be sure that you don't touch your face or with jalapeno, because you may just have a horrible burny sensation.
I've done that quite a bit.
So I've added the New Zealand spinach.
And how densely are you cutting the spinach?
I cut it. Alex, if what type of spinach are you using?
Kind of baby spinach.
Then it's fine if it's not too fine, because it's tender. It'll cook quite easily. Mm-hmm. Yeah, doesn't have to be too fine.
And so if you want to change up the vegetables, I'm assuming you just keep the same ratio. So it's basically a cup and a half of vegetables.
Yes, right. Exactly. And then I'm now chopping my fresh coriander or cilantro. And I think even the vegetables, one doesn't have to strictly measure everything. It's what you have at hand. It's not going to make that much of a difference because you'll see that the flavor of the garlic, chili, ginger, a little bit of spring onion really, really enhance the flavor of this pancake. And Alex, it's so good to see everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I know. Finally got it working.
Yeah, looks amazing.
Yeah.
And you said, is this where I would add my kasuri?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, a tablespoon, Shannon.
Okay, great.
So now you know you can use that for something.
Yeah.
Have you used it for anything in the week?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But it smells so good, so I'm excited to use this.
Yeah, Shannon, it'll work with aloo fry we made as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll work in there.
So I made the scrambled eggs, I think 4 or 5 times this week.
Nice.
Okay.
Slowly worked through it. It was very good.
Did you change anything?
I changed the vegetables. I put all kinds of different things in there. So I think in the morning I didn't feel like having the serrano in there, so I kind of added some other vegetables. I don't know. I mixed in. I have a lot of stuff here. I tried it with zucchini, which I added to a lot of things.
Lovely.
And so it was. But the garam masala worked really well. And so I just kept on teaspoon of that and.
Yeah, I think the garam masala is lovely. It gives you the flavor, but just be careful not to over flavor it with garam masala because it then can take over the flavor of whatever you're cooking.
No, absolutely.
You just have to be careful.
No,
yeah. And Shannon, that kasuri methi will work in the spicy eggs we did.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It'll work in there. So now I'm adding the chopped coriander or what you call cilantro into the batter.
So we go ahead and add all of these, right?
We've added everything.
Sorry, I jumped ahead. I already added everything. And I'm going to switch from a whisk to a spoon because I think the vegetables will just get caught in the whisk.
Yes. I also took away my whisk. Do you have a ladle that you're going to use to pour the batter? Because that also works quite well to stir.
And I'm using a small spatula.
Okay.
Now mine's pretty thick.
Yes. Now I'm going to add the rest of my water.
Okay.
You're going to add the rest of your water. I think I only had a tiny bit left, but I'm going to add the rest of that as well.
You need to add it because I'll show you the consistency of my batter. It's actually quite watery.
Yeah, I was about to say mine got really soupy when I added the rest of the water.
That's fine. That's absolutely how you want it. Shannon, let's see yours. I can't. Can you lift it with something so I can see the texture?
Oh.
Is it? Yeah, you may need to thin it because
even
yours
more.
is not. No, is it pouring? Shannon? Yeah. Okay. Then let's hang on. Once we put it in the pan, we can always adjust the batter.
Can you see mine?
And yours, Alex? Yeah, I think they look good.
Okay.
So
nice
I'm going to...
cameras.
I think now we can taste the batter just to make sure we've got all the flavoring correct. Okay, mine needs salt, so I'm adding salt. I'm happy with the rest of the flavors.
Yeah, I definitely need salt. And I think next time I'll use a finer grain of the cornmeal. I don't know if once it's cooked, if it's a little crunchy.
Okay.
But I don't know if that'll make a difference once it's cooked.
Last week I didn't have the fine maize meal and I used quite a crunchy maize meal and it was fine. So the thing I forgot to add was a squeeze of lemon. If your yogurt isn't sour, a squeeze of lemon always enhances the flavor of these pancakes in the batter.
When we say squeeze, what does that mean?
Like a teaspoon?
Teaspoon? Okay.
Alex, after you're done squeezing the lemon, are there any more questions?
Let me take a look. So we had what kind of oil was used? Nope. If you have more questions, make sure to jump in and ask those questions. We don't see any. I don't see any new ones yet.
I'm now putting my pan onto my stove. So you can use a pancake pan. I'm just using a regular fry pan, a non-stick one.
Okay, so the batter is going to go. So I was using a flat pan, but I think I'm going to switch to a round because it's almost like a crepe where it's going to go to the edge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once you've put your pan on, it's useful just to get a little bowl with some oil ready, because that's what we're going to use to fry the pancakes.
Can we just pour a little bit of oil in, or are we waiting for the?
Yes, I think put some
hot?
oil in a little bowl so that you have it on hand when you need it.
Okay. And are you going to brush it on?
I'm going to show you a trick.
Okay. I'm ready for my trick.
Okay. So if you have an onion.
Oh.
Do you have an onion?
I do.
Alex, do you have an onion?
I do.
Okay. So you take the pointed side of the onion and you just slice the bottom off. So that this is what you're looking at. Flat. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to use that dipped in the oil to oil my fry pan, and you'll get a lovely fragrance of the onion coming through.
That's interesting.
That is a nice trick. I thought you were going to, I didn't know what you were going to do, but I've not heard of this trick.
Yeah. It's a very old one, probably my granny's era. So when you do this, you can actually smell the onion.
Oh, yeah. That's a great trick.
I love this
Damayanti,
yes.
we
yes.
have requests. Can you repeat the recipe for this?
It's on the website. If you go to officehours.global, the whole recipe is on the website, and a video on all the components. That's probably the best way to do that. There's a lot of pieces. It would take a while to repeat them, but we'll also make sure we put it in the notes within this after the recording. But you can go to officehours.global/cooking, and there's a whole recipe there with videos and a shopping list.
So now I'm going to take a ladle and pour the batter and swirl it so that you get it covering the surface of your pan. So it's just like making your crepes, as Shannon mentioned.
I have a square pan, so it's going to be square.
Now I see why you need them runny.
Yeah, it needs to be a runny batter.
I don't know if mine's runny enough.
And you can always add water as you go along. I usually test the first one or two and then decide on how much water I'm going to add.
Okay. It looks pretty.
And then just keep a plate ready for when you remove it from the pan.
And do you flip it?
We are going to flip it, yes. I'm just waiting for the edges to be golden brown before I flip it.
How many pancakes do you expect to get out of this batter on average?
I've got a 24 centimeter pan, and I'll get 8 at least.
Okay.
I'll get 8 pancakes.
I don't know if I'm going to get 8, but
depending on the size of pan you're using.
Yeah.
I am going to add a half a teaspoon of oil just on the edge. You know, with the first pancake, you always have it's not sticking, but I don't want to break it when I flip it. And we need it to be golden brown before we flip it. And how, yeah, I can see Alex's. Shannon, how's yours doing?
I think it's doing okay. It's starting to get a little dry on the edges.
Then you can add a little oil.
Mine's, yeah, definitely getting golden brown around the outside edge.
Yeah.
So I should flip it?
Then you can flip it. You can see mine, it's quite like a light gold color. If you're having difficulty with flipping the first one, it's not unusual because the pan needs to be almost oiled, seasoned, like they say.
I think that's with every kind of pancake that I've ever made. The first one's kind of the test.
Yes.
I'm going to change pans. I don't like this pan.
Okay. Is it sticking too much?
It's sticking, and I'm going to switch to my cast iron.
Yeah. Oh, cast iron will work well, Shannon.
I don't know why I didn't choose that to begin with. Those are usually my pans of choice.
And what are you looking for?
Yeah, this first one's not going to be any good.
To when do you put it on? When do you take it off the pan?
So mine is if you just hold it the other side, you'll see nice brown spots on it. I'm going to flip it to show you.
Mm-hmm.
It looks quite dry, and there's little brown specks on it, so it's ready to come off the pan. Yeah, you need to turn yours, Alex.
Mine's still a little underdone.
Okay, then hang on.
I think I prematurely flipped.
Okay, it's fine. The first one or two are going to do that.
I love the onion trick. So great.
I'm putting my second batter in.
A question from Dan Huber is, I may have missed it, but what else would you use chickpea flour for?
Chickpea flour is used in if you wanted to just make a plain sort of wrap, a lot of people use plain chickpea flour to make the batter. And you could even do this pancake with just chickpea flour. It's a very good binder. So also a thickener if you wanted to thicken anything. What I like doing when I'm going to thicken anything with chickpea flour is to dry roast it a little. And then it has a very nutty flavor. And in the Indian cuisine, you use chickpea flour for a number of sweetmeats that you make. There's some, yes?
I have chickpea flour. I use it for falafel.
You use the flour? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I usually use the whole chickpea, soak it and grind it.
I use a blend.
Okay. So if you can see the second one has turned out much better than my first one. It's a lovely color because now the pan is warm enough.
Yeah, my first one, not so good.
Yeah, no, it's just the first, as we know, with pancakes too, it's the first one or two that are challenging, and then the temperature's right, and you're good to go.
I also think that I needed some more water.
You're right. Okay.
So it was just a little too thick, I think, as well.
Yeah. Shannon, is your pan hot?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was pre-warming it on another burner, but it needs another minute.
Yeah, sure. Because with cast iron, it takes a bit of time to get it nice and hot.
Yeah.
I'm using a gas, so it always tends to heat a little quicker than your electric stoves.
Now, I am conscious too the fact that we started a little late and we moved this out an hour, and we have in 10 minutes we have the next show starting.
Okay.
So what I think that we may not have time to do all of the pancakes.
Sure. I'll just do the 3. I'll do my plate to present how you could serve it. And then we can carry on doing it in our own kitchens.
Yes.
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Perfect.
And
if you have any queries, then
yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. I got another one here. Kevin Buccini asks, what temperature is the element at? I assume the pan.
I have no idea. That's my flame. A medium heat.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say something.
Dimiante, I can tell already my cast iron skillet was a much better choice. I'm getting
it. Good.
I can tell it's cooking the way it should.
Right. So this pancake could be used instead of a wrap or a roti when you're eating anything like a potato dish or a peas dish or whatever. And strangely enough, when I got married to Hasmukh, in their family, they have it with honey. And as strange as it sounds, it's absolutely delicious with honey because it's the savory with the sweet. So it really, really works well. I'm gonna do my plate. And if you're doing it as a breakfast dish, you could serve it with some fruit as well.
You can have an egg with it.
Yep. You like your eggs, Shannon. I always think
of you.
Eggs.
I do like eggs. I get a lot of eggs as gifts from my friends with chicken.
Oh, you're lucky.
I have some Southern California sage honey that I'm going to try it with. There's a place. There's a fellow in the by the side of the road at Bodega Bay that sells. He's the honey guy, and he literally has honey from all over the West. And so you can go there and he comes in these random like jars, and but you realize how bland regular honey is that you buy at the store when you buy something like this.
Yeah. We also get really, really great honey here. So I've got some beetroot salad. I've got some yogurt. And some honey.
That looks beautiful. What did you say? What's the red?
Beetroot.
Beetroot.
Beetroot salad.
Got it.
And I was actually thinking that I'm going to swirl the honey in the yogurt and serve it like this. Because I think honey and yogurt is a lovely combination.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my second pancake. And my third one's going to be even better because my pan is even hotter.
Oh, good.
Well, I'm going to try it.
You're going to try it? Okay. We're not going to be able to try it at the same time because mine needs another minute.
So you can see my plate?
It looks beautiful.
Really good.
So you usually break a little piece and dip it in the yogurt. That worked.
I'm going to do a little impromptu yogurt and honey.
I suppose you could flavor the yogurt with cucumber or just about anything. But I think the honey works with it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the honey is excellent.
Ooh, it's very hot. I just took it off, but I'm anxious to taste it. Ooh. God, like
So
everything that we make, Dimiante, it smells so good. Definitely too hot to eat.
We'll wait
I need a
for you.
moment. I need a moment. I want to eat it with you guys. It's too hot.
And any questions?
Let me see if there's any new questions for this one. Well, just hit the wrong button. Do you pickle your own beets? Tommy to Chance asks.
Pardon?
Do you pickle your own beets?
The way I pickle them is I don't bottle them, but like in this prayer today, what I did is I like chopping some onion into it, and I just flavor it with salt and some lemon juice or vinegar. I don't pickle it. I find it too sour.
There we go. That was the only other question that we haven't asked already. What do we have going on for next week?
Okay, I think it's all up, but we're doing a green chili paste because that forms the basis of a lot of dishes. I mean, if you've noticed thus far, we're always doing garlic, ginger, and chili separately. So if we learn to do the paste, it just saves a lot of time. You can freeze it so that you always have it on hand. And you need so little. It actually keeps very well. And I'll show you how to store it. And the recipes are up, Hasmukh says. And then we're doing a bean dish to show you how to use that paste.
Fantastic.
So
that sounds
that's
great.
what we're doing next week.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
And then we off on our annual vacation.
So
for
tomorrow,
2 weeks.
next week's is the last one for a little while.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to doing that one and then getting ready for the next season once
Sure.
you're back.
Okay.
All right,
Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank
Bye,
you. Thank you.
Shannon.
And everyone make these. They're really, really, really
Really
good.
good.
You have
Really
to try
good.
it.
Cool.
And Tony, can you turn off the